Hi, I'm your anchorman and host, Lil Nemo, and today I'm going to be guiding you through the oceanic biomes with me and my crew, Nasser, Jake, and Sunny. Now to Jake, who's going to give us some important information about our biome.
Thanks, Little Nemo. The ocean is home to a wide variety of plants and animals. They've adapted to conditions from the freezing waters near the pole to cold waters like the waters found off the west coast of the United States to warm tropical waters where coral reef grows. Here's 10 examples of different plants and animals that grow around the ocean. Turtle grass is a green ribbon-like plant that grows in coral reefs. It can grow up to 14 inches. It serves as a habitat and also a producer of food. An adaptation of turtle grass is that it stores salt so that the salt in the plant is at a higher concentration than the water around it. This helps it prevent water loss. Another common plant in coral reefs is algae. There's different types of algae, such as the hard red algae, green algae that looks like lettuce leaves, and brown algae that has a dark pigment that causes its greenish-brown color. Algae is a producer of both food and oxygen for fish. It is also adapted to temperature change by blooming when the waters are warmer, not colder. Another common plant in warm waters is the mangrove, which is a large shrub-like plant. It provides shelter, produces food, and also adds nutrients when the leaves fall into the water. Mangroves have adapted to salt water by developing glands to release excess salt. Phytoplankton are green microscopic organisms that live in the ocean. They often live in places where there's upwellings to bring nutrients to the surface. Phytoplankton provide food for sea creatures. They have adapted to living in the ocean by developing flat bodies with gases so that they can float near the surface and collect sunlight for photosynthesis. Kelp is a large green-brown seaweed that grows in underwater forests in shallow waters. They are common in cold waters such as the Pacific coast, for example, Monterey Bay. Kelp is a producer of food and oxygen. They also provide habitat and capture carbon dioxide. Kelp has adapted by developing large, strong roots that hold it in place even through strong currents. They also have leaves that float at the top of the water to collect sunlight for photosynthesis. Coral is a marine invertebrate that is hard and stony and grows in tropical areas. Coral provides a habitat for all life forms. So one adaptation of coral is that it grows in bright colors, which helps it with UVA protection. The sea turtle is a large green sea creature with fin-like limbs and a large hard shell. Sea turtles are consumers of algae and grass. They have adapted to predators by developing a large shell. They also have strong flippers for fast swimming, ability to store oxygen in their muscles for holding their breath, and also a sharp beak to eat algae and coral. Parrotfish are tropical fish that come in bright colors. They have large scales and also a beak plate on their mouth. They are consumers of algae and they also help maintain the coral. Parrotfish use their strong beaks to break open coral and find algae. They also are bright colors so that they can blend in with the coral. Sea otters are furry, brown, semi-aquatic mammals that often live in kelp beds. They are consumers of urchins and kelp, and they help preserve the CO2 capturing kelp forests. They have adapted to living in the ocean by developing webbed feet for fast swimming, keen eyes for increased visibility, and also insulating fur for warmth in the cold water. They also have whiskers to detect prey. A fish that often lives in the deep waters of the ocean is called the anglerfish. This is a deep-sea fish with a round body, extended spine with a light-producing organ, and they usually come in brown colors and have soft flesh. The anglerfish is a consumer of deep-water fish. It has adapted to living in the deep, dark waters by developing a bulb to see prey. They also have an extendable jaw to capture a wide variety of prey.
Fuck out, Jake. Now to my boy and homie, Nasser.
Hey, this is Location Report with Nasser. Before we start off, I just want to give a few quick details about the abiotic factors that affect the ocean's characteristics. So first off, we have precipitation, temperature, sunlight, wind and water currents, soil type, and nutrient availability. And the two oceans we're going to be focusing on today are the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. So for the Pacific Ocean, the average amount of rainfall that we get per year is 1,270 millimeters of rain. Temperature, ocean spring temperatures range from an average of 60 degrees Fahrenheit in Southern California to 50 degrees Fahrenheit off the state's northern beaches. Vary from freezing at poles to 25 to 30 Celsius near the equator. In terms of sunlight, the sunlight penetrates the ocean to a depth of approximately 65 feet, and 90% of marine life inhabits this portion. Without sunlight, photosynthetic organisms are unable to complete energy synthesis, which is necessary for survival. When climate changes unexpectedly, organisms who could not move to suitable climate quickly enough could not survive. In terms of water currents, the North Pacific Current, sometimes referred to as the North Pacific Drift, is a slow, warm water current that flows west to east between 30 and 50 degrees north in the Pacific Ocean. The current forms the southern part of the North Pacific subpolar gyre and the northern part of the Pacific Ocean subtropical gyre. The southern Pacific gyre is part of the Earth's system of rotating ocean currents, bounded by the equator to the north, Australia to the west, the Antarctic circumpolar current to the south, and South America to the east. In terms of soil type, there is a low salinity near equator and poles. The ocean floor is composed of three different types of soil known as pelagic sediments or marine sediments. They include calcareous ooze, red clay, and siliceous ooze. Now we'll move on to the Atlantic Ocean. So in terms of rain, precipitation over the Atlantic Ocean varies between 10 centimeters per year in the subtropics, with minima near St. Helena and the Cape Verde Islands, and more than 200 centimeters per year in the tropics. In terms of temperature, surface water temperatures which vary with latitude, current systems, and season and reflect the latitudinal distribution of solar energy range from below -2 degrees Celsius to over 30 degrees Celsius. Maximum temperatures occur north of the equator, and minimum values are found in the polar regions. In terms of sunlight, natural fluctuations in the ocean temperature in the North Atlantic have a significant impact on the climate in the northern hemisphere. In terms of wind currents, the North Atlantic Current, also known as the North Atlantic Drift and North Atlantic Sea Movement, is a powerful warm western boundary current that extends the Gulf Stream northeastward. The South Atlantic Current is an eastward ocean current fed by the Brazil Current. That fraction of it, which reaches the African coast, feeds the Benguela Current, and it continues with the northern edge of the Antarctic circumpolar current. In terms of soil type, we have sand-like landforms, ridges, canyons, and islands. You can stop it there. Not a lot of people really understand the impact that human populations across the world have on the ocean, such as this one. And so a lot of times it boils down to the fact of pollution. So marine pollution occurs when harmful or potentially harmful effects result from the entry into the ocean of chemicals, particles, industrial, agricultural, and residential waste, noise, or the spread of invasive organisms. Oceans around the world are becoming degraded. Evidence shows that human activities, including intense fishing around the world, are altering ocean ecosystems beyond their natural state. According to numerous scientific studies, fish, shellfish, and other important species are declining in many places. These changes are impairing the ocean's capacity to provide food, protect livelihoods, maintain clear water, and recover from environmental stresses like severe storms. A recent study, which has mapped the total human impact on the seas for the first time, has revealed that the picture is far worse than the scientists imagined. 40% of the world's oceans have been heavily affected by human activities, including fishing, coastal development, and pollution from shipping. The most severely affected areas are the North Sea, South and East China Seas, Caribbean, Mediterranean, Red Sea, the Gulf, the Bering Sea, and the East Coast of North America. There is evidence to suggest that human activities have caused the amount of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere to rise dramatically due to the burning of fossil fuels, for example. This impact on the marine environment, as the world's oceans currently absorb as much as 1/3 of all carbon dioxide emissions in our atmosphere. Some sources of pollution include irresponsible irresponsible waste removal from various undeveloped and developed countries, like plastic buildup and oil spills.
Thank you, Nasser, for that information about our biome. Now we have live footage straight to Sunny giving more details of what's going on in the oceanic biomes.
Hi everyone, this is Sunny Sandu and I'm coming at you live with the ocean biome weather. The ocean biome makes up 70% of the Earth's water, which is why it's so important to our planet. The ocean plays a very important role in shaping our climate and weather patterns. Temperatures in the ocean range from just around freezing at the poles and the deep waters to tropical clear waters that are as warm as the bathtub. The ocean is a great temperature regulator on Earth. This is due to warm water currents being carried from the equator to the poles, with the sun's rays striking the Earth directly at the equator, which causes warm temperatures in the area, and vice versa. Cold water currents are carried from the poles to the equator, with the sun's rays striking the Earth at a low angle at the poles, so the water in the area around there is cooler. The average temperature of all oceans is 39 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius, with an average annual precipitation of 60 to 250 inches. This about sums up my segment. Back to you, Jacob.
Thank you, Sunny, for that important information. And that concludes our series of the oceanic biome. I'm your host and anchorman, Lil Nemo, and thanks for watching.